Blessed day to you all. My name is Lino from Sydney, Australia. Welcome to Pathways of Hope. It was during one Christmas Eve Mass, while seated with my entire family, my wife and kids, my wife's family, as well as my only brother together with his own family, that I found myself saying, this was my happy place in this church, being with God and being with all my loved ones. Admittedly, though, being in church doesn't always seem to be a happy place or a place of prayer. In today's gospel, in Luke 19, verses 45 to 48, upon entering the temple area, Jesus proceeded to drive out those who were selling things. In the other gospel accounts, they also make mention of Jesus overturning the tables of the money changers. He went on to say, "It is written, my house shall be a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves." The temple or the house of God is meant to be a sacred space to honor and worship God. Unfortunately, nowadays, this isn't always the case. I, for one, am guilty of actually picking up my phone occasionally just to take a peek at who texted, or just in case there was an important work email. Then there are those wandering critical thoughts that seem to float in and out of my consciousness as I sit in the sacred space. That's a great homily, Father, but possibly make it shorter next time. That choir is great at singing, but maybe sing songs that the congregation can sing with next time. That family over there with young kids, can't they keep that toddler still? It's quite distracting at times. Now, what about this Sunday's best thing? Really? It's so hot and humid in the church. Can't I just wear the most comfortable clothes and never mind if they may not necessarily be appropriate for presenting myself before God, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords? I may not be physically stealing from anyone, but such an attitude and behavior whilst in the house of God, a house of prayer, is robbing God of the honor and worship that is due him. I am no different, in a sense, to these money changers or sellers of these goods who have turned the temple of God into a den of thieves. How about during these pandemic times? Sure, I did not need to be physically inside the church, but has my attitude and behavior been any different? Thanks to YouTube or streaming, I am now able to attend Mass at the convenience of my living room, and whenever so I choose. I can reserve the prime times of my Sunday for catching up on Netflix or spending hours upon hours on my device or screens that I choose to entertain myself with. The Mass can come at the tail end of everything, just when I'm pretty much ready to wind down. I may not be physically in the temple or the house of God, but by my participation in the sacrament of the Holy Eucharist, albeit virtually, takes me into the house of God, his temple, a house of prayer. Brothers and sisters, whether it be physically in the church or virtually being God's house, let us recognize that we are in God's presence. Let us not turn it into a den of thieves. Rather, let us give him the honor and respect he is due in this sacred space. May you all have a blessed day.